Hey everyone, this is Spin, and I am here again to do a review of Doomsday Kingdom, issue 4, Townfall. I really want to get this out to you guys before I head on vacation. So, as you can see, I'm here on the doomsdaykingdom.com webpage for anybody having trouble finding where to get this lovely product. This is where you come. You really need to give it a try. This is Ronnie and James's love child, so you really need to look into it. Yeah, that sounds weird, but Ronnie Hayes is our author, James Milne is our artist, and a big shout out also to the Map Mob, and you freaks know who you are. Anyway, so there will be, I'm thinking there's going to be some spoilers. It's really hard to not give spoilers, so I'll try not to include too many spoilers, and if this runs too long or something, I think I just might have to do another video on the artwork alone, because, you know, I think the artwork's really important, and I don't want to shortchange that, so, you know, there's that. But if you guys have been watching, or reading, I should say, Doomsday Kingdom, then you know good and well that where we are in the story, and you know where we had left off. This happens to be just showing how quickly my order came in. I was very happy about it, so I put a little order shipped, put that on my Instagram account. So it's not too exciting. So anyhow, I wanted to talk about, though, the transitions, and I'm really impressed with the transitions that Ronnie's been, you know, working in here. And I think that's really important, because if you're reading them one at a time, it might not end up being as big of a deal. But if you're going, and as he has more and more issues, you'll be able to read straight through. And then when you're reading straight through, you're going to see these transitions, and they're going to be much more important. We know that we did start in the future. We had the Who Are You? Which, who are you? You know, you apply your own conclusion as to, is it who he's become, who he was, who he is at that moment, you know what I mean? We also had when we started Fireworks and Fevers, which is issue 2, we had Who Are You coming from his sister, and, you know, she's asking him, you know, who are you? I don't recognize you. Like, you're not yourself right now. This is not the guy that I know, my brother. At the end of Fireworks and Fevers, we end with the nibbler neighbor, I'm going to call him, and he's saying, help me. He's coming out behind Tristan, who you can see is distraught. Anyway, and right in the bottom here of the screen, you can see the tub, the bathtub, the blood bath right here. So I think that's an excellent lead into issue 3, Bloodbath, because then we've got Nibbler Neighbor jumping out. He's still saying, help me. And so that was a very, very smooth transition. Then we have we hop right from there into the end of the bloodbath as Tristan is moving in to the bloodbath for the first time, the real bloodbath. It was here where the triage went to hell, and it suddenly became, you know, Dino's bar became a place for, you know, chowing down in a very literal sense. So that's another one I really like. The next one coming up, this might be, you know, my criticism here for the first time. This might be the weakest transition, because this is the first page of Townfall, and I would have liked to seen. I like the cook, the fried cook up here. I like him, and I like Mary a lot. I might have wanted to see, though, still more of the bloodbath, a larger panel of it, only because the way we left off, so big, and then the way we go into the next issue, yeah, I can see some continuity. I think there might have been a tiny bit more of a smooth way to do that one. I don't know, but that would be one of my only criticisms, actually, and that's not a big criticism, because, you know, all of them are very good. You definitely can see where the story was. Tristan is still in the door. There is still, you know, you still see the bloodbath and the main the main bloodbath people and whatnot. So I don't know. I would like to say that's probably the only little criticism I have in the story itself. Right after this, once they do make it through, and they get into the locker room for a quick change of clothes, but mostly Tristan needs his gun, and that's of course after he smashes to shit that fried bastard, or the fried cookie, as I like to say. And so I really like the fact that in there he's put a little Easter egg while they're in the room grabbing the gun, and he's washing off his little discovery on his arm. He goes right into the combination for his locker, which is 6, 10, 13. I think that I'll go back. That making you guys sick, right? I think that's an Easter egg. Don't know what that means to Ronnie. We are in the story. We're in 2028, so 13 is too long for any of the characters we've had. Even Julie, that would be too long. 13. I don't know if that's Juliet's birthday or just an important date to Ronnie. So I just want to throw that out there. Every time there's a little bit of an Easter egg, I want to put that out. So I'm going to go on to a little thing about one of the things I'm interested in is this bridge. This bridge is called the Market Street Bridge. I'm going to go here first. This is the panel, the actual panel. And I love this because there's a real bridge, and I guess I skipped that little treat. Here's the real bridge. That's what it looks like. Here's James. Here's the panel James created, which looks fantastic. And then here is a little ditty that I made. A little bit of, a tad bit of some realism there. And then here's a little bit of a little creation. So I don't know what you guys think of that, but you could just see this coming to life, right? I mean, if Ronnie gets a show out of this, wouldn't this be cool? Only full frame with all that shit we already saw. And I realize it doesn't rain yet at this point, but I'm just saying this was a fun idea for me, so I did want to throw that in there. So I was wanting to move on. Sorry for that duh moment, or as I should say, shit, Mary. Whenever I make a mistake, that might have to be my new thing. Shit, Mary. Or even better, shit, Mary. Okay, so the pace. I wanted to talk to you guys about the pace because the pace has been really well, and in this issue, we can see where we were wrapping up the bloodbath. Then we have a lull. He gets the gun. Then we have the action in the alley with David. He's drinking the blood from the cat, and then they go into where they bump into the car with the weenie roast and the guys who are a little, messed up. Then we see the body fall, and then there's a lull. We get info from the shop owner, some drinks and stuff, and it's a slowdown for a minute. Then they get to that bridge, and when they see that, they're like, holy fuck. And then from there, they have to run. They run to the hood, and then once they get inside, finally, Shai's house, it slows down a bit while they talk to him, get a little more info, find out what he was doing. So I think that's a nice little up and down, up and down, up and down. And of course, there's a big cliffhanger at the very end. And like I said, I don't want to spoil it necessarily, so I'm just going to leave that out. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is going to translate really well on the screen. It would work really well if you were watching it. The flow would be really well. I mean, really pleasing to the fan who's viewing this. So then I would like to talk about well, whenever I don't know what to talk about, we always have to go to shit, Mary. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about characters that we haven't. I wanted to make a point that we haven't seen all the characters yet. You know, this is still the beginning, and there's probably characters that Ronnie has to put in there and develop. And you know, we keep saying, okay, Tristan's the writer, and that's a gimme, and maybe it's a gimme, but I don't think we should be forcing any character into any future role. You know, because you know, we could guess maybe those rowdy bastards at the gas station who stole this car, or the ones that were having the weenie roast, they could be the future Skull Gang. We don't know, but we do know that, you know, we shouldn't really try to fit those guys into a certain spot, because we're not going to be able to know. And I also wanted to say that as far as characters, Katie has a boyfriend out there somewhere, and we don't know if we're going to get to see him, or if maybe we will find him and he'll become a creep. That would be great. I hope he's a creep. That would really be very cool. So back to something else that I just wanted to share. These are our classic creeps. So far we've had some cool creeps, so I thought I would spotlight them for just a second. Here in the top left, we have Legbone. This is Legbone from issue 1, The Feeding Post. This is also Eddie from issue 1, The Feeding Post. Those two are going to be, you know, those are the original creeps, even though they are future creeps. And so that's interesting. Those are going to be like ones that we know, the same we know, Walking Dead's Bicycle Girl or something like, or Teddy Bear Girl or something. In issue 2, we do end up in Fireworks and Fevers with Nibbler Neighbor over here. And, you know, I think he's going to also be, since he's one of the very first ones in the past that Tristan encounters, he's going to be a little iconic to us. We do have Bloody Mary. I think Bloody Mary will definitely go down in history as the walker named Mary who started drinking blood at the bar. So, have another one, Mary. You're drunk, Mary. Go home. So then we also have the deep fried cook down here, and we have David, who I almost called Abraham, and David's going to be another one of our iconic creeps, especially since he's on the cover of Townfall. And at the very end of Townfall, we have the crack hoe duo, as I like to call them. We have the Weepy Lady, and we have the Dead. She's the Angry Dead. So Ronnie had mentioned there's going to be weepers. There's going to be different stages. We know that Mary said, are you okay? And we know that Nibbler Neighbor said, help me. They just echo the things that they had heard. So we know that's how that's going to go. But I just think that that's interesting. Just, you know, it just lets point out that we have these things going on in the story, and it's going to be fun to look back on them, you know. And these are going to translate so well on the screen. And yes, I am rooting for that type of success. I also want to point out that at the end of all this, we go into a bigger story to tell, as they've been saying. So we don't know what Ronnie means by that. We know that Tears and Terror is the next issue, issue 5. We know that there's the clown on there, the weeping clown. He looks really cool. We know we're going to find out more about him. We don't know if we're going to see him ever, if he's going to get killed, or if he's going to develop into something, or if he's going to take his makeup off, you know. Something like that. He could become a bigger character. Maybe he's the prisoner. Who knows? And that's what I like about it. I like being uncertain at this point in the story, you know. there's all the characters that have been very minor to us right now, you know, and there's like the bridge. There's a girl on the bridge and she flips him off from the bicycle. We don't know. We might see part of her story, what brought her there or whatever. We might see that little shop owner as, you know, the nice guy giving out water and shit. We could, you know, we could see that cop. Ronnie talked about the cop who shot himself. We might see some of his previous story as it led up to this whole thing. So maybe that's what Ronnie means by a bigger story to tell. Or if he's going to expand it out into like more of the state or more of the country or more of the world. I mean, we don't know, because a bigger story to tell means there's lots more where that came from. So I think that's all I'm going to cover. I know that seems like I wanted to avoid, I really want to avoid too many spoilers, and I think that this is a simple way to do it, and it's probably already too long. Just want to share with you guys that it is my anniversary with Makeup Path Presents on September 13th. That will be a Friday the 13th, and it was September 13th, 2014. I'm so happy to have been watching Ronnie for a damn 5 years. That is just so crazy to me. I can't even believe it. I just am so, shit, Mary. I just don't know. Shit, Mary, shit, Mary, shit, Mary. So I just, such a fun thing. It's just such a fun thing to have been watching. I appreciate it so much. I mean, Ronnie, it's been such a fun thing. You really make my day, and you really make my nights after Walking Dead. So congratulations on all of this. This is such a big deal. I don't know, I'm rambling, but I don't know if other people realize just the amount of time. To make a tiny little video like this, that's probably making most of you, you know, want to shoot yourselves. To make this little video, it takes time. And, you know, it's hard to stay with, you know, have a nice fluid motion without a lot of So, and that's why we always go back to shit, Mary. Well, that's it, guys. I hope that I haven't forgotten anything major that I really, really, really wanted to discuss. I'm hoping right here at the end I could just throw in my plug. I would like to see this large coffee mug building that I looked up that is in Wilkes-Barre or Wilkes-Barre. And so do something with that, will you, Ronnie? I want to see some walkers spill out of there or something. And y'all have a good one, and I will see you during the next review for my for artwork. I can't wait. Bye.
The zombie mambo has several moves to get you in the zombie groove. So just drop dead and listen to the song, and soon you'll be dancing along.